I know most of you have watched the video where Kimani Ichungwa was destroyed at Aljazeera in London. That was one of the interviews people were waiting for. Now, let me first take you through before the interview. When Aljazeera announced that they are going to have Kimani Ichungwa, Kenyan youths felt like they are going to use the platform to sanitize William Ruto's name outside there. But when I saw it was mailed, who was going to have the interview, I knew very well Ichungwa will face it. However, we relaxed. Despite the opinions of Kenyans that we should not have the interview, Al Jazeera still went and scheduled it. It happened, and in real sense, the interview was one of its kind. So the interview happened, and from the interview itself, there are so many things that I was able to learn. Before I take you through, if this is the first time you're watching our videos, kindly make sure that you subscribe, like, and comment, because that is the best support you can always give this channel. Now, this is what happened. Ichungwa was asked tough questions, and he was not expected to dilly-dally, to beat corners, to be straight to the answer. From this simple interview that happened, number one thing that I learned from there is that the world now came to learn that Kenyan leaders, particularly those allied to President William Ruto, are all liars. Something happened in broad daylight. An abduction happens, and then someone says it's an alleged thing that happened. Someone says that these are people who are locked themselves in Airbnbs, and now with their girlfriends, now they're pretending that they were abducted. Kimani Ichungwa even tried to defend that point, but asked him, why could you concentrate on an Airbnb thing? Yet there are real actual abductions that occurred. Why is it not a big deal with you? That question destroyed Kimani Ichungwa. The fact remains that despite of his brightness, despite for his intelligence, Kimani Ichungwa still faced the wrath of that Medi. Medi is a very powerful. Raila Amolo Odinga is a powerful journalist. Raila Amolo Odinga has experienced him. He's not an easy person to deal with. So in a nutshell, number one thing, the lie aspect was already portrayed in William Ruto's government. The lying aspect. Number two, that I was able to learn from there, it is the fact that Kenyans are united against William Ruto. The crowd there were Kenyans in London who were asking legitimate questions as far as William Ruto's governance is concerned. There's a lady who stood up and asked a very simple question. And perhaps I should play the clip here, you guys to see it. Let me play it.
Hi. Your party seems to be very concerned with the criticism on social media. Why are you more sensitive to this than to the everyday troubles of the Kenyans, such as the rising cases of femicide, the abductions, corruptions?
True, we are very concerned, and I said I'm actually the one who in this show spoke to the issue of femicide because it's a matter that was of great concern to Kenyans. I'll tell you from where I sit. I am less concerned with what people say online, on social media. I had that engagement with somebody yesterday who is in this audience. And I told him, I have been called William Ruto's wife because I work closely with him. And I take it in my stride. But I will have to do my work and do it to the best of my ability. That's my concern, and I believe everybody within the Kenya Kwanza administration is less bothered by what people say online.
How can you say that when in the part one of this show...
Insults.
Hold on.
Let me
part
finish.
one of this show...
Let me paraphrase
Irungu
that.
from Amnesty said a guy did an AI image of the president in a coffin was treated viciously, violently. That was not you having a thick skin.
And maybe because you never allowed me to respond to that. Because,
I think I did, but you can respond again if you want.
You've heard the clip. The lady, she's eloquently speaking there, asking tangible questions that any other Kenyan could have felt like this is what I need to ask. I thought at some point that's a Kenyan who just traveled from Kenya to go and attend the interview. But then I realized this is a lady within the UK who decided to attend the interview and ask her such a powerful question. Intelligent mind, seeing what is happening in the country. From where? London. The other one also gave an experience of being in Kenya, talking about bribery. And Kimani Ichungwa went ahead to deny it. The fact remains that Kenyans are united against William Ruto. The campaigns used to make diaspora here and there. I'm not so sure this time around he's going to campaign and sell himself abroad. But the fact remains, as ignorant as he's been, he'll always do that. Now, in a nutshell, Kenyans are united against William Ruto. Now, when I listened to Medi critically, I also noted that Medi knows William Ruto inside out to some extent. I felt like he knows William Ruto is not a good leader. The time he was giving to the people who are there are some people who are giving, the independent people, there was a panel that he had there, which was supposed to give their opinions on what was being discussed on the interview. And I realized that gentleman who was supporting William Ruto, there's a way Medi could at least at some point ignore his points. That was nice, meaning that he was defending William Ruto, yet he knows what is happening in the country. And that shows that not just Medi, the entire world knows what William Ruto is. Another thing I need to say is this. Corruption in the country is well known internationally. The Kenyan corruption, it's known to be on another level. First, Medi brought the point where William Ruto was rated as among the most corrupt leaders in the world. Number 2, which some Kenyans like me feel that was a bad rating, was supposed to be number 1. So in that such a scenario, shows that the world is aware who William Ruto is, where corruption in the country is. Even when I checked on their thumbnail on YouTube, it was saying Kenya's level of corruption. Meaning they were simply portraying that the major thing they were going to discuss there is not even the killings that are happening in the country. It's not even the abductions. It is the corruption that is in the country, because William Ruto has been rated as among the most corrupt leaders in the entire world. So in a nutshell, when Kenya is known that way, that means as we go forward, some things are not going to be possible so long as we have William Ruto. One thing also noted is this. Kenyans hate William Ruto entirely. Those who love him, just a few. They have nothing to defend William Ruto on at all. Every point that is brought, there's always some level of what I can call inefficiency. You talk about SHA, you reach a point where money is involved, unakwama. You talk about housing levy, you reach a point where the money is kept, unakwama. You talk about the university funding model, reach a point where money is now actually handled, unakwama. Meaning it is very difficult to defend William Ruto outside there and within Kenya, because there's always a problem at everything that he touches. And the funny thing, he does not care. And the worst thing, Raila Amolo Odinga is now supporting him, regardless of the opinion of Kenyans. Such a painful thing. Ladies and gentlemen, from the interview, it's now critically clear that the government of William Ruto, it's well known for its unjust or rogue operations within the country. I'm calling them rogue intentionally because so long as Kenyans cry, that is happening is a rogue action. So long as Kenyans weep, it is not required to happen. So in a nutshell, when I look at the interview as a whole, Kenyans are against William Ruto entirely. I don't know what's your opinion. Let me see it in the comment section kindly what you think about this interview. See you next time for more videos.